The Gadget Inspector.
Hey guys, welcome back to the second installment of Toolbox Tuesdays, where we kind of talk about tips and modifications and even some basics just to help us get the most out of this hobby. At the same time, staying safe and maybe even saving some money. Well, today we are taking a look at the balance charger that I happen to use to charge my LiPo batteries. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'm just going to kind of show you how I use it, what I use it for, where I got it, all of that good stuff. Now, there's a lot of clones or knockoffs or whatever you want to call it out there. This one is actually an original SkyRC, and the way you can tell that it is an original is this sort of hologram type deal. I got mine from Amazon, and I'll put links and stuff in the description as always. So that's what we're going to look at. We're going to also look at some other safety things that I do just to make sure I'm handling my LiPos in a safe and responsible manner. Okay, so before we move forward, just a word about who needs a balanced charger. Okay, if you're flying quadcopters that only utilize one cell, they're one cell batteries, 3.7 volts, such as these. This is one that has the micro low C connector. This one has a JST connector. If you're flying quads that take these batteries, you don't really need a balanced charger. These only have one cell. Balanced chargers are for batteries that have multiple cells, 2 or more. Okay, and the indicator, one way to easily identify a 2-cell battery is by the balance plug. Okay, the other way you can tell a 2-cell battery is one cell is 3.7 volts, 2 cells is 7.4, which is 3.7 plus 3.7. Well, how do you identify a 3-cell and so forth? That's right, you add 3.7. A fully charged 1-cell battery will be 4.2 volts. So for a multiple cell battery, each cell, the highest you should charge it is 4.2 volts. Okay, so saying all that just to say that everybody necessarily doesn't need a balanced charger. If you're just flying around your Syma X5C or a little hub sitting around the house or whatever, you don't really need to make the investment. But if you're flying something like a Tarantula, which takes a 7.4 volt battery, or even I got my big old Syma X8G, which has long been my favorite flyer, most reliable flyer, and I think this one has quickly been dethroned by the MJX Bugs 3. If you're flying quads like that, you need a balanced charger to properly charge your batteries. And the reason for that is the chargers that usually come with the quads don't balance charge. And when I say balance charge, that means that the charger is charging the LiPo evenly. Each cell is being charged up evenly. I've charged using the chargers, like the USB chargers that come with the quadcopters a lot of times, and when you go to check the voltage of the batteries, you'll see one cell might be 4.18 and another cell might be 4.2. And speaking of which, this is something that everybody, no matter what, everybody that is dealing with LiPo batteries should have. This is a simple voltage tester. You can find these for $2 or $3, maybe even cheaper than that. I'll put a link in the description, as always, as to where I got mine. So basically how this works is if you want to check the voltage of the battery, all you're going to do is connect it like so, and it's going to give you a reading. It's saying that there's one cell and it currently has 4.19 level of power, or 4.19 voltage. Okay, so that's pretty much a fully charged battery. Here is with the JST connector, one cell. This one is at 4.19 as well. Okay, so we can consider that fully charged. Now, let me pull out my 7.4 volt, and we are going to use the balance charge connector or plug. There we go. 2 cells, 8.33. And then it gives you each individual cell. And you can see this battery is a little bit out of balance. One is at 4.19, one is at 4.14, I think it was. Nonetheless, that's how this works. I recommend that everybody have this in their toolbox, no matter what. Okay, so for your standard one cell LiPos, you know, these chargers like this charges 5 at a time. This one charges 1 at a time. Those are perfectly fine for one cell batteries. You can even get charge leads. This is a charging board for 1S batteries. These are, I believe they're mini LoC. I forget what the battery plug type is called, but this allows you to charge multiple 1-cell batteries at once. Now it's not balance charging because there's only 1 cell. There's nothing to balance. But if you want to charge multiple at once, you can do that with this balance charger. Okay, so this is the main charging lead that comes with the balance charger. Okay, so you have these two, I guess, banana plugs here on one end, and then on the other end, you have this this plug where you can switch out various charging leads or charging cables to accommodate various types of connectors on your LiPo batteries. So this is to charge a JST, a battery that has a JST connector, and this one actually came with the charger, I believe. If you want to charge something like your MJX Bugs 3 battery, which has an XT30 connector, you're going to need to actually purchase another charging lead, which I went ahead and did. There you go. You can plug this right into your battery and get it connected. Now, I recommend just trying to be as safe as possible when you're dealing with all this stuff. You're dealing with power. Look, you know, just take precautions. Just sensible, common sense. So for me, before I connect anything to this power, I'm getting everything connected first. So I'm going to get my battery connected. And then now, once my battery is connected, now we can start dealing with the balance charger. So let's take a look at where we plug everything in at. So this is, these are the charging ports, or the power ports. You've got the red and the black, and that's where the banana cables plug into. Then you've got all of these charging ports here. What do you call them? This is where the charge plugs plug into. Okay, so you've got 2-cell, 3-cell, 4-cell, 5, and 6-cell. So you can charge up to 6-cell batteries using this particular charger. Okay, now before I connect it to the power, I'm just going to put my balance plug in for my battery. And now, and it's probably a good idea to keep these separated, I'm going to plug these into the corresponding ports there. Oh, before moving forward, let me show you guys some of the various connectors that you can get to charge different LiPo batteries. So this is the plug type that the Syma X8G batteries use. I believe it's a banana plug as well. And you can just connect it just like so. And then that'll allow you to plug into the balance charger and charge your batteries just like that. Now, I mentioned in my Bugs 3 video that I purchased an adapter that allows me to utilize my Syma X8G batteries with my Bugs 3. And that's what this is right here. So basically I just connect this to the X8G battery, and then this has the XT30 connector, which plugs right into the Bugs 3. So, and I'll leave a link in the description to this as well, because I'm sure there's people that already have a bunch of these batteries, and the Bugs 3 batteries are kind of hard to come by, and they are a little bit more expensive. So yeah, if you want to do that, I say go for it. Okay, another thing I want to mention too that I forgot to mention. When you buy the SkyRC B6 Mini, it will not come with a power source, such as this right here, the AC adapter. It won't come with that. You're gonna have to purchase that separately, which I don't know why, but that's just how they sell it. So I got both on Amazon. I'll leave links again to both. So very simple. If you want to get this balance charger, I'll get you hooked up, no problem. Okay, so the charger has various programs for various types of batteries. You've got a program for LiPo, charging LiPo batteries, Life, the LIFE batteries. I think I talked about that in the last Toolbox Tuesday. Got something called LiPo, I can't even pronounce that. It's a different type of battery with different type of components. There's another one, NIMH, NiCads, so on and so forth. So you got all these different types. You've got just a variety of functions, and we're not going to go through all that right now. I just wanted to kind of show you guys what's going on there. So we're going to push enter for LiPo, and right now this is set to charge a 7.4 volt LiPo, which is a 2S, so it's giving you all that information, and it's set to charge at 2.0 amps. Okay, so the amps are basically the rate at which the battery charges. So it basically determines how quickly the battery charges. Now, how do you determine how many amps to use to charge your battery? Well, very simple. Take a battery that, come on, focus. All right, take a battery that's 2,000 milliamp hours. 2,000 milliamp hours. What you're going to do is just divide that by 1,000, and that gives you what? 2.0. That's how many amps you're going to use to charge that battery. Now see, I already have it set that way. Now you don't have to charge it at 2.0. You can charge it higher or lower, but this is the safest way to charge your battery, or lower. You can charge it slower if you want, just to be even more careful. You can use higher amperage. You can double that. You can go 4.0. Okay, so that's going to be at double the rate. But I usually stick with the rule of thumb. They call it 1C, I believe, but basically just remember whatever the total MAH or milliamp hours are, divide that by 1,000, and then that'll give you the amps that you should use. So what if you have a battery that's, let's just use 600 milliamp hours. What if you have a battery that's 600 milliamp hours rather than 1,000 or 2,000? Well, same thing, you know, you divide it by 1,000, and in this case you would get 0.6. So you would charge with 0.6 amps. Back to the Bugs 3 battery. So you can see right here that this is an 1,800 milliamp hour battery. It's a 7.4 volt. So there's 2 cells here. So this is a perfect candidate for balanced charging. Now with the 1,800 mAh divided by 1,000, the charge rate should be 1.8 amps. So I'm going to go ahead and change that now. So I'm just going to go in here, push enter, and you'll see the amps start to flash. I'm just going to go down to, 1.8, hit enter or start again. It's already set for the 2S 7.4 volt, so I don't need to change that. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and change it just to show you guys. So you've got 3.7, 7.4, 11.1, 14.8, 18.5, and you can see there's 5S, and then 6S is 22.2. That's the highest it goes. Now, what if you make a mistake and select the wrong voltage? This is a 2-cell instead of 3-cell. Will this thing allow you to do that? Well, let's try it. Okay, this is what it's going to do. It's going to give you a warning. That's what's so good about these type of chargers. So let's back out. Let's go back in and correct that. Now, when you're ready to charge, you're going to push and hold down that enter button, and it's going to check the battery for you. It's making sure, yep, 2-cell, everything is in alignment and ready to go. Oops, I have it on discharge. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, let's talk about that as well. So you see up here where it says discharge, you want to change that to balance charge. Now, this charger will just straight charge as well. That's an option for you. You can do fast charge, which I don't recommend. You can use this to take your batteries down to a safe storage voltage as well, which is very important. That's a completely different discussion. I don't want this video to be too long, so let's not talk too much about that. You can use this to discharge your batteries, but we're talking about balance charging today, so let's focus on that. All right, so my amperage changed, so let me fix that. 2S. Okay, we're ready. Hold down the button. It's checking the battery. We're in good shape. Push the button again, and it is now charging. So as you can see, the battery currently has 8.36 volts. This is the rate that it is charging at, 1.8 amps, and it gives you the time. It's telling you it's balance charging. Now, if you push left, the left arrow button, it's going to tell you what the end voltage is going to be. And remember, 3.7 per cell. So 3.7 plus 3.7, 8.4 is your final desired voltage. And this is going to tell you what each cell's voltage is. Now, as you can see, one cell is already at 4.2. This is not going to allow it to charge any further. So it's going to apply the charge rate to this one, which is 4.19. And once it hits 4.2, it's going to stop. Okay, and there's other information here, but let's just kind of go back here. Okay, now another word of safety: never leave your charger unattended, or don't leave it, don't charge overnight. At least I wouldn't do it. I don't recommend doing it. It's just not wise, I mean, this thing is pretty safe. I haven't had any trouble out of mine, but you just want to be wise. The other thing I recommend that you get is a LiPo bag. This is a fire safe bag that you can store your lipos in or transport them in. And you can get them in varying sizes. The one I have here is just a small little bag. It's not real big, but I basically use it to transport my batteries. I have some other stuff where I store my lipos, but these are cheap as well. I can't recommend that enough. And that's it, man. That's it. Oh, you know what I forgot to talk about? Signs of a battery that is deteriorating. If you have a battery that starts to get puffy, it's time to dispose of it. Now, disposal, how you do that, I would recommend contacting the county waste disposal department, or whatever. Just use the proper channels to find out how to dispose of things like this that might have hazardous materials in it, and go ahead and go about doing that. Okay, so for the next Toolbox Tuesday, we are going to talk about the Turnigy 9X programmer board that I just got in. Actually, I think what I'll go ahead and do is just go ahead and install it. I think this will be pretty simple, pretty easy, and it should be a pretty quick thing to do. So I think for the next Toolbox Tuesday, we'll go ahead and install this into the Turnigy 9X. And what this is going to do is it is going to allow me to change the operating system in here, or the firmware. So it's going to allow me to change it to OpenTX, which is what the Tyrannus uses, or something called ER9X. And then I think I also will talk to you guys about my FPV goggles, my Eachine VR007s, and a little bit of a mod that I did that allows me to record my my FPV flying sessions. All right, so that's it. One last thing. if there's something you want me to cover or talk through, it doesn't matter how basic it is, put it in the comments. Now, if it's something I can answer real quick in the comments that doesn't require a video, then I'll do that. But if it's something that I think would be a benefit to a lot of people and might take a little while to explain, I'll go ahead and include that in one of our Toolbox Tuesday videos. And also, you know, we got some real quadcopter mechanics out here. I mean, some quadcopter engineers out here that are, I mean, they are well versed in all things quadcopter. I mean, these are like PhD quadcopter dudes, right? So if there's any one of those type people actually watching my little video and you find something that might need further clarification, or maybe I might not have got it exactly right, feel free to leave a comment. I'm all about learning and sharing the right information. So I think I covered everything properly. I haven't had a problem out of the way that I'm using this stuff. So just passing it along. I'm going to put links to everything. So if you're looking to get a balance charger, I can recommend what I'm using without hesitation. All right, so as usual, if you are not currently a subscriber, please consider subscribing. If you don't want to, that's okay too. Like the video, or if you don't want to, you don't have to. Okay. And if you know somebody that might benefit from this information, share it with them. For those of you again that watch to the end, you are awesome. All right, God bless y'all.